Good morning, everyone. Guys, the looming food crisis seems like it's getting closer and closer. I've been warning about this for such a long time because I can see this coming. I can see global food supply dwindling and dwindling, more people competing over less and less resources. It looks like this is going to happen pretty soon. If you've been following this channel, I said we could have a situation whereby this Christmas, all these things come to get us. Winter fuel allowance being cut, people are going to be cold. Christmas is here, so people want, presents additionally to what Father Christmas brings. We're going to have a situation where food prices are skyrocketing, and who knows what's coming in this budget. What I will say, guys, quickly though, before we go on, if you've not done so, please click the buttons down below with a subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys know when I put a video out. So it's come out then, there's a consortium of farmers and they're talking about, their lobby, I think lobbying is the right word. They're asking for more assistance from the government because it looks to me, and I've been saying this for such a long time, it looks to me like there's a war on farmers that want to produce food. It's kind of like, you've seen the meme where there's the guy sat on the branch and he's cutting it at the tree end and you're like, yeah, we need to get rid of these trees. And you're like, yeah, but dude, you're literally going to fall down and it's not going to be a good thing. So farmers are asking for more government support because, to grow food. And again, this is absolutely wild. Our reliance at the moment on overseas imports, because it's cheaper at the moment, it's unbelievable. We ran out of food. I think it was on the 14th of August. So we would have run out of food on the 14th of August this year if we only ate and consumed food and stuff that we produced in this country. 14th of August. Next year, that date is going to be a lot less because this year's been a terrible year in the United Kingdom for growing food. We've had a very wet early season. You can't just plant seeds afterwards because they don't have time to grow. I've heard of farmers being paid not to harvest their crops. I've heard of other farmers who just look at their yield and they think, right, okay, it's not actually worth me getting I don't know what machinery they use. It's not actually worth me getting the machinery out and going out to that field because it will cost me more in the machinery than it will that I will get back from that harvest. So it's kind of, counterproductive for a lot of farmers to work at the moment, which seems insane. If we look at some of the most what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient farmers in the world. It's the Dutch farmers. Now, the Dutch farmers, they do a lot of their farming in these ginormous greenhouses. And I think it was one of you guys put on the comments, I think, or it might have been on the other platform. Why don't the UK just build massive greenhouses? And I agree. That's what we need to do right now. We should be investing in massive greenhouses. I mean, where we live, literally probably about 500, well, less than 500 meters away from my back garden, there's like a huge allotment field. But the problem is people don't use it because we've lost the knowledge and the will to go out and grow food. Now, if we could somehow, I don't know, instead of investing in instead of paying overseas companies to come and put solar farms up, if we just, I don't know, gave local people enough money to go and put a huge greenhouse over that whole allotment. And I mean a really big greenhouse now with what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of polymer sheeting whereby sun would come through, it protect it from the rain. You could harvest that rainwater at big, huge buckets, and then you could put that rainwater on the plants as you see fit, rather than that rainwater just being wasted and going, to places that it doesn't need to go. That's kind of, do you know what? I might try and start and do this myself. But that's how we need to go, guys. We need to start having these big, huge industrial greenhouses. That's the only way we're going to be able to grow enough food to feed our country. Are the government invested in this? Are they looking at this as a reasonable, as a viable source? Absolutely not. It's insane at the moment. Guys, we are really heading towards a food crisis. So what's been said then? So government urged by Lords, I'll put these links in the description. Government urged UK government urged by Lords Committee to fix broken food system. So this is about diet and obesity. So Diet and Obesity Committee has released a new report calling for a long-term strategy to address the obesity and health crisis in England. Guys, grow your own food. That's how we deal with it. Grow it locally in allotments, grow it in your back garden. You know, it's insane that that it's actually, and it is cheaper. I've seen it. You know, it's cheaper to go and get a processed pizza in, I don't know, there's one that my sister was telling me, guys, what's the place where you can get 10 items for £10? It's one of these freezer shops. I can't remember the name, but you can literally go in there now and you can buy a load of stuff for like £10. It's not good quality and it will have a lot of bad stuff in there, but you know, that's what people are doing because people enjoy that, enjoy that quick. You know, they want to get that quick rather than grow their own stuff. And when you grow your own stuff, you know, especially with kids, I can remember, like, not this year because, you know, those who've been following the channel, you know, we did tomatoes this year and it was absolutely disastrous. You know, it was embarrassing. But last year we did potatoes. We got absolutely loads of potatoes, and the girls, they go out there and they dig the potatoes up, and then you get an affinity with that food, and they eat all their potatoes because they've grown them themselves, and they're like, oh, these are delicious, these potatoes, we've grown them ourselves. Not only that, you know what's been put on there, you know there's been no pesticides put on there, you know you've only been feeding them with, you know, with water and sunlight or whatever it is you do. You know, so we should be growing our own food now rather than going to takeaways, rather than doing 10 for 10. UK farmers now are warning of a food crisis. I've been talking about this food crisis for like the best part of a year because I've seen it coming. I've seen the war in Ukraine. I've seen the food exports from Ukraine almost grind to a halt. I've seen the added effects of how that's affecting the European market. And guess what? When we're low on food, we import our food from Europe. Well, guess what? When they're low on food, who are they going to import their food from? Well, they get it from Ukraine. All right, what if Ukraine's not got any food? Well, Europe can't get any food from Ukraine. So guess what? Us in the United Kingdom who don't grow our own food, we're going to have a food crisis. So farmers urge government for more support as fears of UK food crisis grows. Guys, this food crisis that's coming right now, I feel it's an inevitability. Not just, there's a lot of factors around this, not just because we don't grow our own food, but imagine the situation where we don't grow enough food to feed ourselves, and we're getting, like, some days we're getting an extra 1,000 people a day turning up at our shores that need feeding. Now, you can argue about whether those people should be here and who pays them and where the food comes from and what they're eating. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of this video. The fact is, we have an alarming amount of new mouths to feed every day. And these, and this is just coming and coming, and it seems like there's no end to this. Not only with those new mouths we have to feed, that's new stress on the energy system, it's stress on the water system, stress on the sewage system, all the utilities. That's not even talking about the NHS. That's not even talking about local doctors, local pharmacies, local infrastructure. That all these new people have an added effect on, added weight onto that system. Guys, we're about to see this system absolutely collapse. It could happen this winter. I think it's unlikely that it'll happen this winter, but guys, it is going to happen at some point. Everybody's warning about it. More and more people are coming out and saying, well, hang on a minute, if we don't have enough food to eat, what are we going to eat? But the problem is we keep importing it from other countries, and the more we're reliant on other countries, when they say, listen, guys, I'm sorry, but we haven't got enough to feed ourselves, so we're gonna ban exports, which is what countries do in times of hardship. And be under no illusion, heading towards a global conflict of an industrial scale is kind of the definition of hardship. Anyway, guys, that's the gist of this video. Impending food crisis coming to the United Kingdom. More and more farmers are warning about it, and we should kind of listen to what the farmers are saying. And also, guys, remember, I've been saying this for like the best part of a year. I've been saying the steps that we're heading towards it. Guys, food crisis is coming. It's probably going to be already here at some point, but I think we're really going to feel it after this budget. We're really going to feel it when, with inflation, the price of everything is going to hit a new high. Absolutely wild times, guys. Look after yourself. Understand what's coming. Guys, I'm going to Max a Grid. I'll get you guys another video later.